George from Scratch Golf Tips, and today we're going to be looking at how to warm up like Tiger Woods and how you can take what Tiger does before a round and apply it to your pre-round routine. Tiger does a lot of great things. You can take a lot of takeaways. So what I'm going to be doing today is going through the 3 parts of Tiger's pre-round routine and then some lasting takeaways. So let's get right into it. Part 1, the first thing that Tiger does before a round, he heads to the putting green, and his strategy here is pretty long. I know that nobody has all this time, but the first thing that Tiger does is he rolls putts with just his right hand on the putter. He normally does about 15 or 16 of these putts. Occasionally he'll set up tees on both sides of his putter just to get that gate drill, and this really helps him with feel and distance control early on in his practice. Right after that, he'll do lag putts of about 30 feet, ranging all the way to 60 feet. And before a round, Tiger will normally do 10 of these in the first part, and then he'll do shorter putts, anywhere from 15 feet and in. And Tiger does about 50 of these before a round. He spends a lot of time on the putting green. Putting is an important part of anyone's game, and when you're a tour pro and such a star like Tiger, you really need to hone in your distance control, your pace, and your break. So Tiger does a lot of putting before he even heads to the driving range, which brings us on to part 2. Tiger then heads over to the driving range after about 30 minutes to 45 minutes on the putting green. The first club that Tiger hits is his sand wedge, his highest lofted club, which I believe right now is a 60. Before it's ranged from a 58 to a 62, but right now it's a 60. So he hits 17 of those sand wedges, and then he moves on to irons from those, but he only hits 2 of his irons. He hits his 8 iron, which he hits 13 times, and then he hits his 4 iron 10 times. And then after hitting those iron shots, he heads over to his woods. He progresses from his 5 wood to his 3 wood to his driver. He hits his 5 wood and 3 wood 4 times. He hits his driver 5 times. And then after that progression, he finishes with 6 pitching wedges, 7 sand wedges, and 2 more drives. So that's the chunk. That's just the driving range chunk that Tiger goes through. Those numbers obviously will vary by a couple every time, but he stays pretty consistent with all of those numbers. Then part 3, he actually heads back to the putting green. Here he'll hit probably 5 long putts, and then once again he'll hit 20 more short putts to really hone in on everything. From there, he heads right over to his tee box. So that's about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes that Tiger does. Obviously nobody can do all of that, so some important aspects of this that anyone can take away, the weekend warrior, the amateur, the scratch golfer, this is what we can take away from what Tiger does. One tactic that Tiger uses is the last shot that he hits on the driving range is always the club he'll be using on the first tee. So if it's a narrow first hole and he's going to use a driving iron, the last shot that he will hit on the range is that driving iron. If he's going to hit a driver off the first tee, he hits that driver. So that's good. I think it's maybe more of a mental thing for him, and you can try that out in your own round if you like. Next time you go out there, just know what you're going to hit on that first tee. If you don't know, then probably just go with driver and figure it out from there. That could be helpful to anyone. Another thing that Tiger does, stretching and workout is prior, but it should never be overlooked. Obviously, working out before a round, that's not for everyone. Tiger is known for his physical fitness, and he kind of brought that to golf, but you need to stretch before, and even if you're tight during a round and your pre-round practice routine. Stretching, you don't have to stretch for 30 minutes. If you just get 5 or 10 minutes of good stretching in, not only will you feel better, not only will you most likely play better, play looser, it's just good for your physical health. You don't want to pull anything on the golf course. So just a little bit of stretching before a round and before your pre-round routine for that matter can definitely help. One thing that Tiger does in the driving range that a lot of amateurs overlook pretty heavily is taking time in between shots. A lot of people will just whack an 8 iron and then they'll look at the ball, see that it's slicing right, and then they'll go over to and just hit another 8 iron. And you need to take time in between shots. If you have a pre-shot routine, you'll see every tour pro, they have the same pre-shot routine, shot in, shot out. If you can have one of those, take a couple seconds, just realize what you're doing right, realize what you're doing wrong, trying to isolate variables. Take time in between shots. This is not only true for a pre-round routine, but if you're just going to the course or a driving range just to get some practice in, take time between shots. It'll make your practice a lot more meaningful. And the final thing that Tiger does, and I think the best takeaway, is the emphasis on putting. Tiger spends more time on the putting green than anywhere else before the round. Putting is where you'll hit the most strokes throughout a day. You'll see most amateurs whacking away at their driver 50 times and only rolling 5 putts, when in reality they'll be hitting driver only probably 15 times on the course max, and then they'll be hitting 40 putts. So always practice putting, especially, conditions change. Your drives are going to fly the same through the air, but your putts are never going to roll the same on the green. You could have a really rainy, slow day. You could have it be dry and fast. So just put that emphasis on putting. Really try and find drills and practice routines that work for you. There are plenty of videos that you can see of tour pros warming up. There are videos of Tiger warming up. So just look at those and try and emulate certain parts that you think can help your game. But that's all the stuff that Tiger does before a round. Obviously, you can abbreviate what he does. You can find what you do well, what you like to do, because not everyone, I'd say actually close to no one, has an hour and 45 minutes to practice before a round or would like to do that. But if you can abbreviate what he does and take away these important aspects on the screen right now, I think you're well on your way to some lower scores and in turn having some more fun playing golf. So that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. On the left, you can see the button to subscribe. We're posting about twice a week now golf tips so that you can get your game better for this season and have more fun on the course. Also on the right, you'll see another video that YouTube has suggested for you, so click on that if you'd like to watch more. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Play well and take care.